Henry. Delays, cancellations, or the dreaded overbooked flight. If you travel regularly, chances are you've encountered one of those issues at some point. And while often you're not at fault, airlines don't go out of their way to right their wrongs, despite the fact most people think that they should.
You should get paid if your flight is delayed, if there are no notice given by the airline or the booking agent.
Yeah, I think if your flight's late, you should definitely get some kind of compensation, I guess, whether it's payment or maybe a discount with your next flight.
I do think you should get compensation if your flight's delayed.
Puts you out of time and convenience, so you should get paid for that, definitely.
And now a company is helping travellers turn that frustration into compensation. Airhelp is a service which tells passengers whether or not they're eligible for funds after cancellation or delay, then gets the money on their behalf. And it seems Aussies are very keen to find out all about it.
Yeah, I'd use a service like this if it was offered to me.
Never heard of the service, but now that I'm hearing about it, I probably would use the service.
I've had a lot of flights cancelled or delayed, so this would be something that I definitely use, yeah.
Sounds good, doesn't it? And Airhelp founder Henrik Zilmer joins us now live from New York. Great to see you, Henrik. Terrific idea. Talk us through. Let's say I'm on the way to the airport, my flight gets cancelled and I miss a connecting flight. How can Airhelp help me?
Yeah, hey guys. So Airhelp can help you because we take the hassle of talking to the airlines. So if you're going to the airport, you find out your flight's delayed, cancelled, or you're bumped off your flight, then you can download the app or go to our website, type in the information, and then we instantly tell you if you have a right to compensation.
Now,
so that's typically what the airlines don't tell you.
Sure. Now, I'm curious to know where the idea came from. My understanding is there are rules and regulations that surround air travel. They're international rules, which we may not be aware of. But obviously, you're very clever and so are your people, and you've looked into the fine print.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we exist, right? Because there's so many different laws and air passenger rights that it's impossible for everyone to know what the law is. So we have taken all that and concentrated and then being able to give you an instant answer. But in Australia, you don't have so strong consumer rights or air passenger rights, but you do have the Montreal Convention, which is a convention that all the airlines in the world have signed, which says that if your luggage is delayed or if you have expenses as a result of a flight disruption, then you can get up to 2,400 Australian dollars in compensation.
Wow.
So that's a lot. And also if you fly to Europe, there's laws there.
The difficulty is that you can't really get, or can you, get paid for your time? Like if you're just delayed on something, there's no connecting flight and there's nothing that you can really clearly put a money value on. Do you see a time in the future where you could get paid for your time if you couldn't get to work, for example?
Yeah. So for example, in Europe, if the flight's delayed just 3 hours, then you can get up to 600 euro in compensation. And the same goes for cancellations. So in Europe, you do have these laws for your time, also in South America, but Australia is still catching up on that. But I believe that in time, you'll see a harmonization and all the airlines will have the same rights for the air passenger so they don't speculate in you waiting in the airport.
Right, so at the moment, it's not available in Australia. It is available in the US, in all internal flights and in the European Union.
If you fly to and from Europe, even if you fly Qantas from London to Sydney, and your flight's delayed more than 3 hours out of London, then you are entitled to up to 600 euro per passenger.
Terrific.
All right, a lot of Australians fly to Europe, as we know. There's more information on our website. Just very quickly, how long does it take? Say you have the delay or the luggage gets lost. How long before you might get some money in your bank?
Yeah, so that really depends on the airline and how friendly they are, but typically you can expect 1.5 months before you have the cash.
Not bad. Henry, great idea. Congratulations. There's a lot of Aussies signing up, I bet.
Yep, and I believe that Airhelp takes a commission of 25%, and you know, I'd be willing to pay that if somebody else can go through the pain.
It's money we wouldn't otherwise get. We've all been delayed with planes and lost our bags. Ahead on Weekend Sunrise this morning, do you like to disco? Samantha Jade puts her spin